Hi, this is Jacqueline here with the Grow Program. Thank you for growing with me on this day, this wonderful day in the Lord that we have. I was looking on Twitter and kind of got sad because I ran across the video of the Baton Rouge, Louisiana Police Department choking out a 13-year-old on the ground while other police officers were standing around. And I just don't understand why it took that to be sling him on the ground and then choke him out. So I will be calling Baton Rouge, Louisiana Police Department. That's a mouthful right there. Baton Rouge, Louisiana Police Department, and asking them, why was that necessary? And is that their protocol for handling children? And yesterday I called to Plano, Texas. Spoke to someone in their media department, and I asked the question, where was the young man supposed to walk who got arrested for walking down the street on his way home? He was arrested because he wasn't using the sidewalk. The video I saw, well, the still pictures I saw, because there was no video, I saw still pictures. There was snow everywhere. And but what I do know is that in the road, as cars are going by, they kind of mush the snow on down, and help it to melt. So it would seem logical, if it's ice everywhere, to kind of walk in the road, because the sidewalk is not really going to be traveled. It's going to be slicker. So that's common sense. But when I talked to the police officer, he said that it didn't make a difference where he walked. He should have walked. He was a pedestrian in the road. That's a misdemeanor. And from the report that I read, it looked like he was had been walking. He had been walking for a while, and they had been following him, asking him different kind of questions and stuff. Just like that live PD, incident where the man walking down the road, and she asked him, "Why are you walking down the road?" Know what she was doing is profiling. That's what she was doing, and actually got caught doing it. And this situation here, he had committed no crime. He walking down the road. He ain't bothering nobody. So you investigating something, and automatically you just go to him, just because you see him walking down the road. Usually when somebody do something, they rob somebody, they don't take off walking. They run. They go run and hide somewhere. So, you see a man walking down the road, an African man, automatically, he's suspicious. We fit the description. We got some work to do in this country. We got some work to do in this country. But it's going to get better. It's going to get better. We have a problem with mass incarceration. Also, we have some work to do. But we have a president now who's willing to listen. We have a vice president who's understanding. So, look for, there are going to be some changes. Now, the way that they're killing Africans in this country, at the rate that they're going and getting away with it, like one just got away with it, I read about yesterday. The way that they're making the dent in the population really is through mass incarceration. That's it. They're making a dent with mass incarceration. That's why I'm trying to get a hold of these kids. These rappers, they need to change these lyrics and these songs. They need to do something different. They gonna have to stop beefing with one another. Cause see, they helping with the problem. They contributing to what's already going on. The reduction in the African population. Cause see, I'm gonna tell you something. See, they did something with our ancestors. They did something that they didn't know they was doing. They created a whole lot of Africans because they they made them slaves have them babies. Made them keep on having babies. Cause see, that's money. Every slave baby, that's money. Whatever they was doing with them. Some of them was feeding them to crocodiles. Using them as crocodile baits. But they was making those babies, honey. That's why, look at your great grandma and grandma, who had 12, 15 kids. But look at the other race, the Caucasian baby. They wasn't having them like that. They was having 2, 3, whatever, and that was it. And even now they don't have that many. But it's a whole lot of Africans. And see, and there's some evil out there that's trying to eliminate the Africans. And the evil is going through the Africans. It ain't just in other races. It's going through the Africans, honey. So we got to stop this black on black crime. We got to stop oppressing one another. We got to stop oppressing ourselves. We got to quit taking these drugs. They in the laboratory right now thinking of some stuff to do. What can we give them now? You better stop taking this stuff. It's gonna make you lose your mind. They'll give you something that will completely make you lose your mind. And the guy that talk about slipping her a Molly, see, that's foolishness. That's rape. That's you basically just wrote out a rape confession. What you getting ready to do? So really he need to take them lyrics back and undo that song and take all that money he made off of that song and give it to the rape victims. And help me out with this mass incarceration problem. Help getting some Africans out of prison. They keeping them in there to make sure. See, what's happening is I'm on a campaign right now to get a man out of prison in Texas, and he been in there ever since he was in his 20s. And now he's 58 years old. See, they want to make sure they keep him in there. They can't have no more babies. By the time they get 70, 80 years old, we'll let them out then. See, this, I'm serious. It may sound funny, whatever, but it's a mass incarceration problem that we have in this country when it comes to Africans. Then we got the problem with the police killing Africans. Then we got the problem with people, ordinary citizens who go running up in the Capitol building, climbing all on the walls like monkeys, looking foolish and acting ignorant and walking through there with Confederate flags, looking for Africans and vice presidents and lawmakers. That lets you know right there, we still hunted. Anytime 3, 4 people can jump in a pickup truck like they used to do back in the 40s and 30s, 60s. They can jump three deep in a pickup truck, go look for a young man who just jogging down the street, who ain't bother nobody. He walked in that house to see if he wanted a house. That's the only reason he went in there. And then he came out. He didn't take nothing. But they went 3 deep looking for him and found him and shot him, and then kicked him, and thought they was going to get away with it. Didn't think nobody was it wasn't going to come out, but this stuff is coming out. And then on top of that, we got a spirit world that they got to go to, honey. They go to a physical death and a spiritual birth. And they're going to be judged. That's how I was in the house with the racist demons, in a haunted house. That's where the growth program came out of. A haunted house. I'm in there with demons, so I'm telling you this, we are in a spiritual warfare. That's why we got to stop attacking one another. We got to get our head right. We got to say, hey, wait a minute, because see, we all been like a ship in uncharted waters. But, our strength and power and love and numbers is what's going to pull us out of this oppression. But we got to come together. We got to come together just like the snow that falls and make something beautiful. We got to rise, people. We got to come up. You got to get your people, tell them to come up, get that talented and lost, and start talking to them and telling them, hey, look, we got to do something better. We got to do something different. We can't keep taking this foolishness they sending out here in these streets. You got a CIA, a Central Intelligence Agency, but drugs steady pouring into, not coming in, pouring into the community. Okay, something's wrong. Something ain't adding up. It ain't adding up to me at all. But what do add up is the GROW program and how I'm going to help my people, and lift them up out this oppression. No matter where you at, no matter what country you in, we going to do better because we got problems all over the world. And, everywhere. We got problems all over the world with Africans and oppression, because we coming out of slavery. We coming out of a time that was, it's a trauma is what it is. Oppression is trauma. And every single African in this country, no matter status or wealth, is under oppression. But we gonna rise. We gonna rise and spread love. Because love drives out hate. That's the message of Dr. King. Love drives out hate. It's a spiritual warfare that we're in. It's not us versus them. Africans have touched too many lives. But what we got to do is try to overcome this evil. Like in this police department, root out the Klan, because they still in there. They deep rooted down in there. That's the beginning of the police department. With the Klan, they always pull with the Klan. Every single one of them. But they coming out, slowly, but it's taking time. We got to root them out. We got to go in there and forget that. Can't wait till they grow out. You got to dig them out. We got to go start digging them out. And I'm finna start down there in Baton Rouge today, and I already started in Texas. So we got a campaign going, people. Greatness reached over oppression through wisdom. Let's rise.